How's it going, YouTube? Quentin today with another video, and today what I have to bring to you is going to be one of the largest topics we have in the game at the moment. And a lot of our players are leaving the game and they're going to other games. But how fun and how hard are the other games? Let's go over the really popular ones today and see which ones are worth playing and which ones are just straight up not worth your time. So, if you haven't already checked out my sponsors over at Imperium Duelist, Dragonshield, Gem, Cloud, Riw Hobbies and Games, Grimoire, or ChainLink, definitely go ahead and do so all down below in the description. Without further ado, let's hop right into the first one. So the first game I have for you today is going to be Elestrals. Now, I'm going to give my 110% unbiased opinion on a lot of these because I really do think that if you're going to leave Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm very biased toward Yu-Gi-Oh, that's why I didn't include it in this video, you have to understand that the level of complexity that you get from Yu-Gi-Oh and the level of enjoyment that you get from Yu-Gi-Oh, it just isn't the same. And we'll talk about that into other games as well. So, Elestrals. I think that when this game starts becoming a little bit more known and in LGSs and it's actually being played as a local, I think that I might actually want to get behind this game a little bit more. But as it is right now, there's still a lot of things that need to be fixed with the overall base game. It's not hard. It's like a 2 difficulty. There's a couple things you just got to learn as far as like key terms and whatnot. But like once you know how to do them, it's pretty similar to like GOAT Yu-Gi-Oh, which is fine. And it's a pretty easy learning curve. There's already a lot of cards in the card pool, and they're actively working to try and fix a lot of the issues that are already going on now, which is definitely commendable. Overall enjoyability, though, at least right now for me, just isn't really that high. I'd put it at a 4. Again, it's just like when the game isn't an official game yet and it's not everywhere, it's not something that is like really known, it kind of takes it a little bit away from me. But I have put a lot of time into trying to understand the game and figure out the meta and figure out where things are going. So I think that this could change, but overall, I don't really think that if you're trying to switch away from Yu-Gi-Oh, that like this is the one that you switch to, right? And I've tried it up and down. I have like a lot of cards too. And shout out to the team for that, to really be able to help me test out the game and see if I like it. But overall, I think that there's just other games that I would probably rather play, at least at the moment. Now, Lorcana. This is a game that has really spiked up this year, and honestly, I think this game is very enjoyable. It's very fun. It's not hard to learn. This is something where if somebody sits down and teaches you in like 10 minutes, you'll pretty much understand how to play no problem. Now, they did have Bucky, and Bucky was Topologic Gumblar in Yu-Gi-Oh! And then they nerfed Bucky into the ground with like 3 different erratas, and then they printed like Bucky 2.0 in the next set. So the power creep in this game is already getting to like an insane level. Obviously not to like where Yu-Gi-Oh's at with power creep, but this game does mirror Yu-Gi-Oh very well. And I think that if you want a clean transition into another game, at least one that mirrors Yu-Gi-Oh to a point, I would say this is the one that you probably want to be in. There is a bit of power creep already, so definitely very interesting to see the types of cards that we're getting printed. There is also a card that you can like bounce back to your hand and summon it, and then it's an anti-spell for your opponent, but it's like a cold wave. It's kind of crazy. I really do like this game so far. It's been a lot of fun. I definitely think this is one that you should check out. Now, the next one is One Piece. Now, this game had me torn for so long. So, in my opinion, this is probably the hardest other card game out there because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is by and large the hardest one possible. But I think that this game is hard on a technical play basis. I think deck building isn't really that bad, but definitely when you're going into like the nitty-gritty, when you're playing and trying to figure out when you should be spending your life and when you shouldn't, this game gets very complex. And so this is one where I would say that the enjoyability goes up for me because it's complex, but its difficulty always, at least to me, makes it a little bit harder for new players to want to play, because especially when you're already trying to deal with things on Yu-Gi-Oh! Where it's already really hard, and then trying to get into another like really thought-bending card game, it can be a bit daunting because you don't really want to learn a whole nother card pool, then also learn a lot of the technical play. I think the game has a lot of promise though, and I think that it's really fun. I think overall, the fact that they have a sim, the fact that, the game is still doing well, at least in tournament-wise and participation, this is another one that you should definitely check out. Lorcana is definitely one that you can just like slide into and play, but this one is going to take you a bit of time to learn. The next one is going to be Pokemon. Now this game is just so easy. Like you can explain this game in 2 minutes flat and have someone play. Like it's the easiest game out there by far. Like if I could give this half a star, I would. You know, like it's just not hard at all. Like anyone could understand this. I've seen like the different regionals on Twitch and whatnot, and you see like kids running around like beating adults, right? And I think that's hilarious because like the game is that easy. But that's kind of where my enjoyability gets a little knocked down, right? My enjoyability of a game is a lot of the intricacies, the technical play. They're really getting down to, okay, how am I going to get to the win this game, and how can I interact with my opponent? There's not really interaction in this game, which is really unfortunate. And it's fun because it's nostalgic and you love a lot of the characters. You love Lugia. A lot of people really like Gardevoir. You know, Ralts was really cool. We all love that from Gen 3. But like, past a lot of the arts and the mons, when you get to the actual gameplay, it's you're gonna go, I'm gonna go. You're gonna go, I'm gonna go. And it's alright, but it's not something that I necessarily like want to spend a lot of time with because it doesn't feel rewarding. It's just gonna be like, oh, either I killed you now or you're gonna kill me next turn. I can't do anything about it. So I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this one, but it's not bad. Now, the next one is Digimon. This game is very easy to learn, but it's not very fun to play at all. In my opinion, this is like one of the worst. I do not like Digimon. I love Digimon. On my arm, I have a detector. I love Frontier. I thought that that was fantastic, and I love the show, but the card game just missed it. I don't know why. It just seems really boring, and it's not really something that I want to play ever. Now, for the last one before I go into the different decks that are going to be in different categories that you'll see, Magic. Now, this game is also very easy. If you really understand Yu-Gi-Oh, this is also very easy. For me, I think this game is probably the most boring. It's a little bit better than like Digimon because it still has like the commander format that I enjoy, but like even just looking at the cards, like the cards just look boring. I can't even explain it. Like when I play this game and I start looking at Magic cards, I could care less. And I know a lot of people love Magic and that's great, but I think that as an enjoyability thing, especially if you're trying to move from like Yu-Gi-Oh to something else, I think this is like not the choice. And it's an acquired taste for sure. If you like Magic, you'll play it. But like, I don't really think that it's that fun. And I think that, you know, that's one thing where you kind of have to determine that for yourself. These are all just my opinions, so definitely feel free to test it out and see what you like. But I'm not a fan of Magic at all. Now, games that I feel missed the mark. Just things that definitely didn't get the ball rolling immediately. And they had a following, but like, not my favorite either. Star Wars, Dragon Ball Super, Vanguard, and Flesh and Blood. I think all of these are just like really small. I think Vanguard is like the biggest one out of these. But like all of them, to me at least, just really didn't do much. They weren't really fun to play. They weren't very enticing. It wasn't something that like really reached out and grabbed people to come play, right? And it's unfair sometimes to match these to like the top 3. You know, we have Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! But at the same time, if you're going to come out the gate with a new card game, which is fun, like you play one card game and you play a lot of them, I just think that you need to do a little bit more. So you definitely can check these out. Star Wars is newer, but these other ones, they're just not something that I'd ever turn to play. I'd play any of the other ones before these. Now, there's a few that I would just throw right in the trash can and delete from the universe. White Shorts, Metazoo, and Buddy Fight. Now, Metazoo is already dead, but the other two, just throw it in the trash can. I don't even know what these games are doing. Like, do not have these around. Throw them away. Play literally anything else. They're not fun at all. But that is my breakdown of the other games that we have at the moment. Definitely let me know what you really want to play. And, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is one thing that you can always play, but it's fun to have a little break sometimes and play something different. Just to kind of see what else is going on. So let me know what you all think, and I hope you all have a great day. Thank you.